Hello everyone, this is my month 1 weight loss results video for the time frame April 24th through May 24th. I am sharing the nitty-gritty details as I work towards needed change for my health. And in the last several weeks, our nation has taken powerful actions to call for vitally necessary change as well. Greater attention to the long-standing racism and discrimination towards Black lives in this country. A light must be kept on this issue. Here is to keeping the light on to changes we need to make both personally and as a nation. These are my results for month 1.
Hey guys, it is Elizabeth and I've completed my first 1 month weight loss. I'm going to be tracking the weight loss until I reach my goal, and this first 30 days, the first 28 days of the 30-day challenge, I did not lose weight. But I still lost weight overall, and I'm going to keep updating you until I reach my goal. So stay tuned.
Okay, good morning. Good morning. So as you can see here, good morning. It is 5:59 Sunday, May 24th, and I'm going to do a weigh-in. This is after 1 month of weight loss, and before that I had done some weight loss but hadn't been tracking it, and I had had a significant weight loss during one particular week. $200. $200. Okay, that's great. So now we're at a turning point for month 2. So we'll get to see how that goes. Okay, 200. Let's see how month 2 goes, and I'm going to give you an update after I've had breakfast and coffee on how the month has gone for me, and be really honest with you about the challenge that I'm still dealing with, that I have been dealing with my whole life, and how I'm tackling those. Okay, bye. Good morning. It is Sunday, May 24th, 2020, and you're with Elizabeth. All right, let's get started. Okay, so I have had a total of 6-pound weight loss, you could say technically, during the last 30 days. You can go back and see my first video where I shared that I was embarking on a 30-day challenge for weight loss, and I have the results in now, so let's get to it. And then I will be posting every month until I reach my weight loss goal, or until I decide that I want to kind of change the direction with these series that are on my YouTube channel. Okay, so prior to this 1 month challenge that started on April 24th, I had had fluctuation in my weight ranging between 225 pounds and 206 pounds for the last several months, and I had 1 week where I lost 12 pounds in 7 days. That might be an example of, if you're doing that kind of an extreme push, which we all know, then you're going to flux back up. And I've been doing this for years, so I'm being transparent with you about what I'm identifying are the challenges that are participating in me persisting with this behavior. I also want to be really transparent in saying that, like, I mean, sure, it would be, I think I have like an advertising mind in some ways, or not an advertising mind, but a business mind, in that I'm always thinking of the ways that people do these types of videos, and there are ways to do it that could make it look so much like I'm really like a leader at this, and I'm really crushing it. And I think that that's not what I'm trying to do. I want you to, you know, go see people who are already like consistently healthy in this way and see what they do. But I also want to share this because I think this is less common for people to be like, hi, I have these struggles, and then, you know, to work through them. But there are also great channels out there where people have done this. So that said, My lowest weight as an adult was 150 pounds. I was a competitive swimmer when I was a teenager, and I was in a situation as a youth where I had a mom who was not able to really be there for me, and I had a dad who worked a lot, and there's a lot more behind that. But what happened is I injured my shoulders at 16 with tearing the tendons and ligaments. I was a competitive swimmer. I swam butterfly as one of my competition events that I was very good at, and I just pulled those shoulders out. I had a point where I was swimming almost 20 to 30 hours. No, it was a lot. It was like 14 to 20 hours a week that I was swimming. I was swimming for my high school swim team. I was swimming for a competitive team with the Quantico Marine Base back in Virginia, and I had a military coach who would, have very severe consequences on amounts of push-ups and sit-ups that you had to do for every minute you were late to practice, that kind of thing. So, I was very into it. I loved it. I had no complaints, but my point is that it kind of pulled my body apart while it was still growing, and then I didn't have the support of my parents to not continue that. So I don't like where this is going. So long story short, I was a competitive swimmer when I was younger, and I tore the ligaments and tendons in my shoulders because I was doing this competitive swimming. I had parents that were busy, and so when I would try to go back and swim before my shoulders had healed, there wasn't anybody really to stop me. I was at the age where I was driving. I drove myself to swim practice, and I just would strap surgical tape on my shoulders and just went for it. And then in continuing to compete, when I was still injured, I ended up exacerbating the injury, and it put me in a situation where I could no longer swim. And that's when the weight gain began for me. And at that point I was 17. So that's the background on it. And so I have a small frame. Currently my body mass index is 30.4, which makes me obese. So this is at 200 pounds where I'm weighing in, and that's today, again, May 24th, 2020. There's been 6 pounds weight loss, but there is a catch. I didn't cheat, but 2 days ago, my weight was still 206. I had still fluctuated, and I'll go over the details of it, but I fasted the last 2 days, and that's how I got it down to 200. So we're going to talk about it. I have never successfully fasted, but I don't like to not get results. I don't want to let myself down, and I also want there to be some sort of progress, which is why I'm holding myself accountable. And again, I'm sharing the flaws and kind of the flawed behaviors that I have that have led to this, that are still present, and I want you to take it as lesson learned, not as something to do necessarily, although there's nothing wrong with doing a short fast. So we'll get into it. So let's go over some notes of things that I want to share. I have a history of disordered eating. There's certainly details that I could go into about that. That's not going to happen right now. Greatest challenge is inconsistency for me. So I have had I've probably lost 1,000 pounds in my life and gained it also. So, and I don't think that's uncommon. And then I discovered that using the food app made me realize that I was really accustomed to eating an extra 1,000 calories a day. And for me, an extra 1,000 calories a day is the difference from being over 200 pounds and being at a healthy weight. Just an extra 1,000 calories a day. That's it. It's just a habit. Anyway, if you want to use the weight tracker that I'm using the Simple Weight Tracker app. It's like a blue icon with a little white tracker line going down. Okay, I didn't track my calories the first 10 days. My weight was 206 and 521, like I told you. And then I decided to fast. I've never fasted successfully, but I had this motivation of this goal to be accountable to what I had told I would do in the last video. And so when the day came, I knew I would need to weigh in and report it, and I wanted to have something done. So I did fast successfully for 60 hours from 6 p.m. on Friday, May 21st to this morning around 6 a.m. I've had some fruit, just a couple bites so far. You got to start off slowly when you come off a fast. So anyway, what else? Things that are holding me back. So the addiction and the compulsive behavior, that varies for everyone, but what I've noticed is that if I end an addiction, I tend to transfer the addictive behavior to something else. So I'm hoping that I can transfer the addictive behavior to healthy things, and then do those in moderation so that I'm not burning myself out. So it's going to be a progress. It's going to be a progression. It's going to be a something. I mentioned that I'm accustomed to eating the extra 1,000 calories a day, and that I also realized that I have eating habits where I'll eat to soothe myself, but the foods that I choose to eat when I choose to soothe myself do not soothe me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will eat something that's packaged, like I'll have some Doritos, and I'll have just something that is processed or has chemicals in it, or something that's not healthy and not fresh. And when I do that, maybe I do feel good at that moment, but then afterwards, the emotional consequence or the physical consequence, even if it is still minor, it's more detriment. It takes more than it gives. Yeah, it's like a narcissistic relationship with food. Like the junk food is the narcissistic, incestuous, funnel you dry, take from you, not give back food. And then ital food, fresh food, primarily plants and vegetables, nuts and seeds. I'm not saying necessarily vegan, but predominantly those things for me are what make me feel mentally stable, feel energetic, feel alive. So those are the things that give back. They're like, hey, you plant and grow me, and then I'll give back. Okay. That was a theory. So the changes that I made were that I made some changes in reaction to documenting what the challenges are. I decided, I would make changes, and then I'm going to make more changes in month 2, and I'll let you know the degree to which the inconsistency continues or not. Let's hope not. But here are the changes. I removed all snacks except fruit and nuts from my workspace. I have a kitchen that's upstairs, and I would keep copious amounts of snacks. I'm talking about like 2 shelves packed with bins and cereal boxes, and just everything was immediately like 3 feet away from where I was at any given point in time. And so I would be lazy, and I would not go upstairs to the kitchen to prep something fresh or cut up a piece of fruit, and rather would consume these goods. So I moved them all, and then I literally didn't put stuff back on the shelf. The only thing I have back on the shelf are like my plants and a little tadpole that is going to turn into a little water frog that is part of one of my son's school projects. So it changed the mental space for me, and it brought me like, looking at the plant, looking at the little tadpole, makes me think about living and doing, rather than the sinkhole that was those 2 packed shelves of junk. Number 2, I maintained calorie tracking for the last 20 days, and I'm gonna continue to do that, because clearly if I don't do that, I deceive myself and forget what I've consumed, and then I'm like, oh yeah, it still fits in, and then somehow my brain magically adds the extra 1,000 calories that keeps me at the current weight overall, even if I fluctuate day to day. Does that make sense? And then I increased my exercise from 3 times a week to 7 times a week. This isn't going to be for everybody, but I am a homeschool teacher for my son, and I do physical fitness with him every day. And we go out on, it's very common for us to go on a 2-mile walk a day. We live in a place where we can do that safely, and with everything that's going on, we can do that with a lot of space. Ooh, a hummingbird. Anyway, so those are the things that I've learned. I want to encourage anyone who's going through something similar to really be as self-loving and like observe the behaviors, track the behaviors, start writing things down, use an app or something, and then observe without judgment, but kind of like a strategist. Like, okay, so there's this, and so I'm gonna do this. And definitely, like I've said in other videos, just once you get to that point where it's for you. And if you're a parent like me, anything that you do is very directly for your child. So, and of course, even if you don't have children or never want to have children, think of the world as your child. Like, what can you do for the world? What more could you do if you get past this? What more could you do if your body was fully healthy, and then that gave you the power for your mind to be healthy? Because I feel for me that my physical body is a representation, even visually to other people, the degree of health that I have up here. And that doesn't, again, equate to everybody, because there can be people who are very mentally healthy and who are at a different weight. I'm speaking for me, and I know if this also applies to you. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, with that, love to you. This will be a series intermittent with my other videos that I'll be putting up on fashion and things that I want to do. And you never know, just might have something to say. So anyway, I hope that you guys are doing well. Oh, I forgot to mention that the fasting takes like epiphage. I forget what it's called, but like after a certain point, like after the 24-hour point, you start to like eat the dead skin cells and or the dead cells, or the potentially morphing cells, like cells that could become cancerous. And it also boosts collagen, and I noticed that. I thought that was great. Like, just makes you feel more vital. It was not as hard as I thought. I had a reason. I had a goal. It was written down. It was documented. All right, guys, have a good day.